Wait, are you telling me that you haven't heard Denver-based death metal outfit Discordant Meditation?
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Oh, hi. My name's Jorge. I grew up in the 80s and I used to love getting into trouble. I was and still am a big fan of monster trucks and also cats. I take my faith very seriously. I attended university at a Christian college and I'm an ordained minister. I've been a music fan my entire life, only recently getting into extreme metal, and I want to invite you to journey with me on my discovery of extreme metal. What is up, folks? Welcome back to A Christian Collects Death Metal. It's your pal Jorge here, back at you with another video. Thanks for stopping by. Once again, welcome back. My friends, today we will be discussing the newest offering from, as mentioned in the intro, Denver-based death metal underground outfit, Discordant Meditation. You know, there's a lot of great talent coming from that area. Blood Incantation, Spectral Voice, these guys, and so I'm super happy to give my thoughts on this album, let you know exactly what I think, and a big thank you to Donovan too for sending this my way. He reached out to me and said, hey, I like what you're doing on Instagram, you know, I want to send you this album, let me know what you think. I'm pretty sure I was already following them at this point. Somehow in the Instagram shuffle, you know, you run into all sorts of accounts and what have you. And so I had already, I believe, been following these guys, and I heard some snippets on some of their posts, and I liked what I heard, but I didn't hear. That's as far as my familiarity with this material went. And so now that we have an album to listen to, which I have already done, I have spent time with it this past week, listened to it over and over. I wanted to marinate on it, meditate on it, right? And so, without further ado, let's get into today's video. By the way, this does come with a plastic outer sleeve. I just took that off so you could really get the full effect. That's some great artwork, by the way. Just looking at the credits here to see. So Calvin Cushman, Obsidian Pantheon. That's who's credited for the front cover painting. Really cool. You know what that reminds me of? It almost looks like you're inside of a cave and outside is the abyss. You know, maybe I'm wrong. That's what it reminds you. There's this little opening, you're looking out, there's the abyss, and of course, it's looking back at you. And that is actually a lyric in one of these songs. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, they first formed in 2022, obviously 2024. They've been pretty busy. Discordant Meditation consists of two members, Donovan Perrin and Justin Becker. I'm sorry if I mispronounced those names. Forgive me, please. So you got Donovan on guitars and vocals. You got Justin on drums and bass. In 2022, they released their first demo. So what we have here, this is the 2024 release. This is a compilation of all their previous material. So they've had one demo and two EPs prior to this, and this is basically a compilation of all that material. And in my opinion, there's nothing like a good compilation. I think it's some of the strongest material that a band can release, something that they could do. Take, for instance, Necrotic Demos by Spectral Voice, which is my favorite thing out of all the stuff that Spectral Voice has done. That compilation album. You know, you also have that with Tomb Mold, The Molting, and Bottomless Perdition, right? And so that's what we have here. So the insert kind of lays it out for us. The demo, which is kind of sandwiched in the middle here, that consisted of two songs, pretty lengthy as far as size. Then you have Anticosmic Womb, which was also released in 2022. Then you have Interface, which was released in 2023. And then they put all of it together in this nice, cool package, this 2024 compilation. if you look up metal archives, it's always a mixed bag with metal archives, just depending who does the editing and uploading, whatever. It calls discordant meditation experimental death metal. Now, if you're like me, if you hear the words experimental or avant-garde, you get a little scared, okay? Or maybe that's just me. This very much is experimental death metal, but it's not so far, I'm trying to think of an example of something just really bizarre and crazy, and it's eluding me. But what they're doing here is, this is almost, to me, in my greenhorn opinion, pretty much straight ahead death metal, with some added bits, some flourishes, some things that you don't normally see, right? And we'll get into that when I talk about the songs and stuff. But dude, there's all kind of little stuff that they do that really keeps it fresh and interesting. So we have the opening track, Verses of Desecration, and we are off to the races right away. As soon as you drop the needle or hit play on the cassette, it's the equivalent of pulling the pin out of a grenade. It starts out heavy. The drums, these guys are super talented at what they do. And while I'm thinking about it, the sound of this, the production, this is independently produced. I'm not sure exactly who mixed and mastered, but man, kudos, because there's a lot of death metal out there that, man, it just sounds like blah, right? It just all, I can decipher, I can hear everything clearly, what's happening, the drums, the bass, the vocals, and as someone who's a non-instrumentalist, I don't play instruments. I've been listening to music all my life, though, just fairly recently into extreme metal, approaching 3 years. It's not always the easiest for me to comprehend what's going on in a lot of extreme metal, and I think a lot of it is, I know a lot of it is due to the production, but I can't say that with this. Everything is very clear. I can decipher exactly what's going on. I could follow the structure of the song as it progresses. It's a very, very nice production, so kudos on that for sure. Verses of Desecration, a death doomy element in my estimation, and it sounds really good. Super heavy. You have Donovan incorporating like a harsh style of low vocals, or low guttural vocals is what I meant to say, which you think is, kind of par for the course when it comes to death metal. Not always the case. And that's my favorite style of vocals, is low gutturals. But it's also my least favorite because of how many bands just can't do it right. There are so few bands, in my estimation, that can do it in a way that seems effortless, right? And a lot of death metal bands that I hear, the vocals just do not work for me. And I could mention so many bands, but I don't want to come off as a dick. This guy does it in a way that just seems natural, organic, and effortless. And I really appreciate that. That really goes a long way, just adding to, these songs. Continuing on with Festering Black Fractals, dude, I'm telling you, something about bands from Denver, Colorado, and the way that the song titles that they come up with, wow, right? Super impressive. But man, we're just off to the right. This is just the type of death metal that you want to hear. We start in right away with the vocals. You got them low gutturals, and the riffage on this might be one of my favorite songs on this entire compilation. It is so good. Just the riffing, everything, it sounds so crisp and clean. It's really, it's just the type of death metal that you want to listen to. Then we run into Quandaries of Endless Mystery. Now this is, in my estimation, kind of like an interlude sort of song. This is, this incorporates, I always say, acoustic type, stuff, but I don't think that's accurate. but that's what I think of, right? So it's not the type of death metal that you would, I mean, this is very much just sort of slowed down, I want to say acoustic, but that's probably not the right word. Somebody help me out in the comments. What am I trying to say? Ballad ain't the right thing, for sure. But this is a welcome, and I mean that in a good way. This is a welcome entry because I wish more death metal bands would incorporate this sort of thing where you just, the craziness slows down for a minute or a couple minutes, and you have that really slow, almost mesmerizing acoustic style type guitaring going on, and then you have Donovan incorporating clean spoken word. This is very much something that I don't think I have ever seen in death metal before, and it's really cool. This isn't the only song that he does that on either, but it's you know what it reminds me of is some of the clean spoken word that was done among some of the 90s alt bands, like Blur or Nada Surf. But to hear that in death metal, see, that's one of the experimental bits, I guess, but it really works. And like I said, they do it a little bit more. It's not a lot. It's just a small spattering. Inner Eternity, the last song on Anticosmic EP. But yeah, it's still in that sort of doomy death vein. I never know if I'm explaining things the right way. But it's just the riffs. I cannot, say it enough, just how good the riffs, the guitar, the licks are on this material. So when you get into Dementia, which, remember, Dementia and Ego Death, those are the only two songs on their original demo that started it all. That's where things sort of shift into what I would consider more of a thrashy approach, right? But it still feels very much like what we've heard, but it's just more of a thrashy element. And then when you get into Ego Death, well, I'm telling you, these song names, man, that's a good one right there. Yeah, you kind of, they veer away from that and sort of, it's all very much death metal. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying all these different things, but it is still very much, this is death metal, right? That's what this is death metal, right? Some of it sounds like OSDM, right? Some of it's maybe more modern. Then you hear some breakdown stuff toward the end. So, but it's all very much death metal, right? And so we're on side B of the record, right? We had the Ego Death, right? And then we're getting into their newer material that was released in 2023, Interface. And like I said, this is the more pithy stuff, short, sweet, to the point. It's not like the songs on their older material was just, so long. They were just a little bit more drawn out, and I like that. I like the stuff on this older material, and it's only just by a few minutes, right? You might have a 4 or 5 minute song up here, and down here you might have like a 2.5 minute song, or maybe 3 minute or something. So it's just slightly shorter, but it's really like they're cutting away any fat, and it's just all meat. Right? Possessed by Foreign Identities, Psychic Torment, which is another one of my favorite songs. This is such a heavy, fast song. It's always interesting to me how people can make heavy material be fast. Then we have Chronophobia, which I think means a fear of time. Great name, by the way. Something I think we all can relate to. So you see a bit of squally guitar on this one. You get a lot of the what you think of, fuzzy guitar, that sort of typical in death metal. You'll get the fuzzy guitar in this material, but then you'll get some of like the squally stuff as well. And you see that in Chronophobia. My form becomes formless. Dude, this drummer, Mr. Becker, just impeccable drumming, dude, throughout this material. Just superb, just crisp, crunchy drums. Is that a word that's used for drums? It sounds amazing. My form becomes formless, and then we have Behold Infinity. Those last two songs are absolutely phenomenal. What a way to end the compilation. Like I said, it's off their 2023 interface material. It just, this is the type of death metal that you want to hear. Alright, my friends, there you have it. That was my thoughts on the newest offering from Discordant Meditation. Let me know in the comments exactly what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think? Have you listened to the material? Let me know in the comments below. My name's Jorge, a Christian who collects death metal. Thanks again for stopping by. Be blessed.